Hello.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to Lunch and Learn Live. Give us a shout out in the chat box or the comments section of whatever place you're looking at. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I need to go ahead and put us onto the Facebook community that we're on. If you're not in our private Facebook community, go ahead and be sure to add yourself. So, Carissa, what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're doing spring detox and liver health, which I love talking about liver health.
Well, and today's topic is really important because, liver health is probably one of the most important things because the liver controls so much of our overall health. And quite frankly, it's a really big issue for people because it takes the brunt of all the things that we're exposed to, all the toxicity, all of that. And so our liver likes love. I just made that up. Liver likes love. I love that. So that's important. And it is, we are starting to come out of the winter season. So it is a natural, normal time for the body to want to go into a nice detox rhythm this time of year. So let's dive in and get started. So I know during the winter months, sometimes our diets deviate a little bit. We're aiming more for those warm comfort foods. Maybe we're having more sugar than we're used to having, or, more higher dense things, higher fats, all of that during the winter. And spring gives us an opportunity to get lighter, to rejuvenate, to blossom and grow like everything else does during the summer. So what are some of the things that you like to do as spring approaches?
Personally, well, I'm a huge fan of castor oil packs on my liver. I tend to do them all year round.
Yes.
But I think, spring is the season to, like you said, to cleanse, to reset, because the body does naturally shift towards that renewal.
Right.
And release. So just including like high antioxidant foods, berries, turmeric, garlic, that helps fight inflammation. I love arugula and dandelion. I drink a lot of dandelion tea to like stimulate bile flow. But yeah, I like to just give my liver extra love all the time because I find that like when I don't, because the liver is our body's like built-in detox powerhouse,
exactly.
like you said. Yeah. So it filters all the toxins, it processes nutrients, and it plays a huge role in digestion, hormone balance, and energy levels. And, sometimes it gets stagnant on me. So I have to definitely give it a lot of love.
That's so important. You guys, I think, so a couple of things I want to point out about this buzzword detox, because detox is a little bit of a buzzword. Detox can be done every day, right? By eating real good, clean foods, drinking all your water, doing things like dry brushing or, lymphatic exercises, things like that. It doesn't mean that we have to do like a juice fast or a water cleanse or things of that nature. It just means that we're putting that extra focus and attention into what it is that we're bringing into our body, making sure that there are no things that are toxins that are coming in. And number two, like paying attention to the activities that we're doing to maybe spend some extra time stimulating detoxification, like Carissa said, with castor oil packs, or rebounding, or even walking, or dry brushing, or lymphatic drainage exercises, lymphatic drainage massage, taking that extra time to really give your body the opportunity to let things go. Fast, easy things that you can do for a detox is, of course, water. Like first thing in the morning when you get up, take in water. Allow your body, number one, to rehydrate, but number two, also to start that detoxification process. Your body's been working hard all night, believe it or not. When you're asleep, one of the things that happens is, your brain literally goes through a detoxification process. One of the reasons why you want to make sure you've got really good sleep is so that that can happen. So when you wake up in the morning and you're starting with that full glass of water, then you're allowing your body to continue that process. That's important.
I love that. I keep a water bottle, a 24-ounce water bottle next to my bed, and I fill it up with lemon and water before I go to sleep. So when I wake up in the morning, before my feet even hit the floor, I am drinking pretty much that entire amount of water because I know that it supports my liver function and digestion. So I think that's really helpful, especially when we're having a hard time getting water in, like when we have a busy day ahead of us, or I know a lot of our clients are in classrooms or when they're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to get a lot of water in first thing in the morning. And like you said, it just flushes everything out because your body's been repairing all night and detoxing all night.
Yeah, yeah. In hydration, I always say, right, nature's solution to pollution is dilution. So that hydration is really key, really important. How about those of you who are listening? What are some of the things that you like to do on a daily basis to detox your body? Hello, Karen. Thank you. Yes, I cut off all my hair. I do it once a year or maybe once every 18 months ish. I've actually got it all there ready. I wait till it gets long enough to donate, and then I donate it. So it's actually sitting on the shelf waiting to get donated. So Karen's asking about lemon water. So Karen, if you're worried about the enamel on your teeth, then one of the things that you could do is use a straw. And one thing I will say about the teeth enamel is it's important. And I learned this recently when I was at my dental appointment, and she's like, she was asking me if I was a sipper, and I'm like, what is a sipper? And she's like, a sipper is somebody who like sips their drinks all through the day. And I'm like, crap, I am such a sipper. There's always a cup next to me. But apparently, if it's plain water, it's fine, right? If it's plain water, that's fine. But if it's anything else that's in there, you want to make sure that you drink it in a chunk of time, right? And then you can swish out your mouth or drink water to clear whatever that thing is out of your mouth. And then you're fine. But apparently, if you're consistently sipping, according to my dental hygienist, if you're consistently sipping, then that can play a role with the dental enamel. But another thing to do, like we said, and Karen's like, okay, got it, straw. So another thing that you can do is use a straw for sure. So that's
rinse your mouth out. I guess I never thought of it, but you are correct, and I am a sipper myself. But another thing, like after I drink my water, is I get up and go to the bathroom, and I just rinse my mouth out. Mm-hmm. Like I don't brush my teeth yet, but I just rinse everything out and spit it out. And so I guess that's why I never thought of it, but that's really good to know.
Well, if we're thinking about going back to basics and going back to nature and going back to the natural rhythms of our body, right? Like we weren't back to the beginning of time. It's not like we were walking around with cups in our hands all the time. It was at condensed sessions where we would be exposed to food or drink. We never had the kind of easy access to everything like we have in our modern society. So it actually makes sense, right? It makes sense that would be helpful for your teeth. So yeah. Good. So if those of you who are watching, give us a shout out, say hello. So welcome Debbie as well. And you can type into the comment section, what are some of the things that you do on a regular basis for detoxification? So we were talking about how, spring is a really great time. It's a time to rejuvenate, repair, heal, step out, allow your body that opportunity to detoxify, because that's part of the natural cycle of the year. And, Carissa started talking too about really the value and importance of liver health. And our liver takes the brunt of everything. And when we're doing things like drinking water, then we're supporting that bile production. We're supporting that toxin elimination, But there's even, for example, different herbal teas like dandelion or milk thistle, or things like that, that you can be, drinking throughout the day in sections, not sipping, in order to help with that hydration, help with that liver detoxification. But in terms of like nutrients and supplements, I love the N-acetylcysteine, the NAC, because that's huge in terms of supporting the liver, the gallbladder, the immune system, the cardiovascular system. For anyone who has had the injection, that is one that shows up on people's protocols. So that's an important one. But also, like Premier Research Labs has the gallbladder ND, which I love for gallbladder and liver health, because it's got the milk thistle, it's got the turmeric, it's got all of those, it's got the artichoke, it's got all of those really good constituents in it, or the hepatovan. HEPATOVAN. That is another one that is really worthwhile in terms of liver detoxification. And, we don't often talk about it, Carissa, but we probably should speak more of it. And that is, most people are walking around with some sort of parasitic infection. And so when you do a parasite cleanse and you do it right, it can be very intensive. And if you're in our practice and you're wanting to work on parasites, and that's something you should let us know. But most people are walking around with a liver fluke. If you've never cleared a liver fluke in your life, then you probably are walking around with it. And we use paratocin in order to work with that. But what's important about that kind of liver detox or that kind of liver cleanse with the parasites is that, the paratocin is really good of getting rid of those parasites, but you still need to make sure that the bile ducts are really open and that the liver is actually detoxifying. So having the support of the bileven and the hepatovan is really important. And then the castor oil packs are super important too, because the thing about parasites is, you can kill off what is there, but there's still eggs that need to hatch. And unless you're hatching those eggs and then killing those off, then you just end up with a chronic consistent infection. So one of the great things about the castor oil packs is they help to speed up that hatching process, which means that you can more easily have a thorough parasite cleanse. So this is a great time of year to even be doing that and clearing all of that out.
Yeah.
Some people don't like a lot of capsules or a lot of pills, but unfortunately, if you want to really get in there and do the job, it usually takes a fair amount to actually do that, get in there and clear out those liver flukes, which most people are walking around with. And then people say, well, Dr. D, how do we get them? Well, we get them through our food that we eat, because so many people have them. You go to a restaurant, someone hasn't fully washed their hands and they're touching your food. That's one way. We don't like thinking about that way, but that is one way for sure. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind this time of year for the spring in terms of cleaning out and detoxifying the liver. But I want to just take a step back, Carissa, because it's important for everyone to understand why that liver detoxification is so crucial. Okay. So we've already said that the liver is responsible for its body's detoxification system. It's important also for our hormone balance. And I know a lot of our clients come in and they're usually perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, and hormones are a big thing. Hormones run the show in the body. And if the liver isn't functioning at its highest, well, then our hormones are just not, they're not going to be balanced, right? Because the liver plays such a role in that. So the liver is an important one for us to focus on. So Debbie, what are signs that your liver is detoxing? Jimmy, what are signs that your liver needs a detox? When you're doing so in our practice, when we're doing any kind of detox protocol, we always make sure, that's why we use the kinesiologic testing, the QRA. We always make sure that the body is fully supported 360 degrees. And so that means that you shouldn't have really any sort of crazy signs that your liver is detoxing per se. But what are the signs that your liver needs a detox? Well, hormonal imbalances. So if you're menopausal and you're having hot flashes, that's a sign. If you're having rashes, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're not digesting your food properly, like if you're getting bloating, if you're tired, these are all indicators. Brain fog, these are all indicators that the liver can use a thorough clean. We're gonna move into season. We'll be talking about allergies on one of our upcoming lunch and learns, but we are going to be moving into allergy season when the pollens and stuff come out. Well, think about it. The more burden there is on the liver, the less your body can handle the incoming toxins from the pollen and such. And so the more reaction you have. So if you're always having a runny nose or a stuffy nose or, post-nasal drip, or you're always having severe allergic reactions or severe seasonal allergies or things like that, that's an indicator as well that it's time for cleaning up the liver. And I will be honest, I know this might creep some of you guys out, but I really love, for liver detoxification, I do love coffee enemas. We have a joke in our practice that coffee should only go in one way, and it's not through here. Okay. But that is because when you're doing, and I mean, a coffee enema it's an old ancient healing remedy. Really, it's not something that is new. And you've got like Gerson, for example, who has a huge protocol using coffee enemas to help people heal from things like cancer. But what happens is the coffee stimulates the hepatic vein, and that allows the liver to actually release more toxins into the system. It also is the fastest way to increase glutathione transferase in the body, and glutathione is one of our master antioxidants. So that's something that's on my personal list. And a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, your hair, your skin, your nails." Well, I credit that to the coffee enemas.
Same. I love that you talked about it, because that was going to be my next thing. And I see some people here are like, no, but it actually is very relaxing. I mean, I don't mind it at all. I really love them. And I don't know about other people, but I had my appendix taken out when I was in 5th grade. And I recently learned, I didn't know this before, but I've recently learned that the appendix is part of the lymphatic system. Mm-hmm. So without it, right, my liver is compensating even more. So I really felt a huge shift when I put coffee enemas. Like I do them several times a week. You know what I mean? And I just feel totally different. Like I don't get as bloated as much. I can feel that it supports my digestion. And like you said, it reduces that toxin recirculation because it's cleansing the blood also, because it, our blood is circulating every 3 minutes. So when you're holding it for the 15 minutes, it helps flush it out completely. And I just have mental clarity when I'm done. I have energy when I'm done. Sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, and I'm like, I'm just going to do a coffee.
Well, because it is one of those big things, because it releases the glutathione transferase. So if you're like coming on with a cold or something like that, it really helps to, knock that stuff out fairly easily. And it's different. People are always like, but it's caffeine. I can't take it. It's a different, your body doesn't absorb caffeine like it does as if you're drinking a cup of coffee. So it's very different than drinking a cup of coffee. And remember too, when you're drinking something, it's going through a different pathway. So it's actually being, absorbed and metabolized differently. But, when you've got brain fog or you're really stressed, for example, I always joke, the joke in my house is, coffee enemas keep mom sane. It's because they really help with managing those stress levels. But think about it. When your liver is happy, right? When your liver is happy, then your stress levels naturally also come down, because congestion at that liver, gallbladder and stuff in Chinese medicine, we call it angry man syndrome. So if you find you're in the space where you're always snapping or things like that, that is, to answer Debbie's question from before, that is another sign that, hey, your liver needs a little bit of detoxification, a little bit of support and help, because it makes us cranky, it makes us irritable. But you think about the meridian that it's on as well, that comes right up to your sleep points. So if you're having trouble sleeping, that is still an indicator that's an issue for you. So I hope that answer your question. So yes, Karen, I would invite you to explore the Gerson therapy, and of course, we would want you to make sure that you're not just willy-nilly doing that for someone who has cancer, but you would want to make sure that you've got some sort of, someone who's giving you some guidance and support, especially in the event of cancer. If the Gerson protocol, for example, they're doing very consistent coffee enemas, and the other thing is, with a coffee enema, you do have to make sure that you are remineralizing your body. So making sure that you're getting in those minerals and remineralizing is very important. So I would look up Gerson, Gerson. I think there's like a documentary too on Netflix somewhere that you may want to check out. Yeah.
So you can go on his website, which is really helpful.
Yeah, Paula, you may want to, there are clinics as well, Kieran, where you can go, and you will have medically supervised, a medically supervised experience retreat. I don't know what they want to call it, but a medical supervised period of time, which might be highly, highly recommended. So Paula, where do you get a coffee enema? Okay, good question. So if anybody needs, if we've now piqued your curiosity and you want instructions, message us. If you're a client of ours, we'll just put the documentation into your portal. If you're not a client of ours, just send us a message or an email and we'll get you a sheet that has instruction. So an important thing is, for sure, I didn't know this was going to be such a hot topic. Oh my gosh. The important thing is, for sure, you want to make sure that you're not using any kind of coffee. The last thing I'd be doing is going to get in Starbucks and using Starbucks for my enema. It's got to be clean. Okay. Coffee is one of the most highly sprayed with pesticide crops in the world. Okay. So you have to, number one, it has to be organic. You do want to have a roast that is supportive of the coffee enema process. Okay, so the way that it is roasted is important. Now, the other issue with coffee in general is that coffee tends to be high in mycotoxins. So those of you who have been around with us for a while, I think peanuts are poison, right? So peanuts are really high in mycotoxin. Peanuts, peanut butter, they're one of the most carcinogenic things. Why? Because of that mycotoxin. Now you think about the way a coffee bean is shaped. It kind of, the coffee bean curves on the inside, and in that inside space, it's highly prone to mold. So the last thing you want to be doing is taking in mold, especially because it's not going through its normal sort of filtration system. So having good, high quality coffee is really important. So I personally use the Premier Research Labs coffee. The reason Premier Research Labs has coffee is not really for drinking. The reason they have coffee is for coffee enemas. I know they don't necessarily always promote it that way, but that is why they have it. So it is been approved for coffee enemas. And if you're ordering from Premier Research Labs, you can also order the coffee enema bucket. So you need a coffee enema bucket. So what you do is easy. So you'll take you'll take a couple of tablespoons of the coffee. You want to freshly grind it. Okay. So you want to freshly grind it, and then essentially you'll boil that with water. And then once you've boiled it with water, you'll let it cool down. Okay. You can add purified water then to that as well. so that it cools it down without you having to wait an hour for it to cool down. So you use half the amount of water. And usually we do 32 ounces. So you boil it with 16 ounces of water, and then add, after the boiling process is over, add that extra 16 ounces of purified water. So now it should be about room temperature. You obviously never want to use water that's too hot when you're doing a coffee enema. That would not turn out well. And then, so Paula, the buckets, there's all sorts of different buckets you can get. The ones from Premier Research Labs, they're just a regular standard bucket with a hose. Okay. So you would strain out the coffee, pour that coffee into the bucket, close the clamp so it doesn't leak all over your floor as you're pouring it in. Close the clamp so that it's not going down the hose. Before you use it, I do recommend over a sink. You hold the edge, let all the liquid get to the bottom so that it's flowing out, and then close your clamp. You always have to lubricate. So you can use a castor oil or a coconut oil to lubricate the end. You insert about this much of it. There's a little hole on the edge. Super, it's a small hole. It's not painful. You still want to lubricate it. And then you'll open up the clamp. You'll elevate the bucket a little bit, and you'll take in about 16 ounces of that coffee enema. You'll close the clamp, remove the holes, and then you want to hold that for about 10 minutes. Okay, so full circulation through the body for the blood is about 7 minutes. So you want to hold it for that 7-minute mark. For some people, it's no problem. If you're having issues holding and you have to let it go, then of course, go ahead and do that. And then you would do that a second time. So usually when we do 32 ounces, it gives you 2 rounds of doing that. And it's not the kind of thing where you're going to be going to the bathroom all day long. Not at all. It's once you've done it, you're done. You do want to stay in a bathroom so that you don't create a mess or anything like that, just in case. I don't know, Carissa, you have any other tips for them?
I mean, I did it this morning. No, I feel like that pretty much about covers it. I do not go on my phone when I'm on it. I tend to put some relaxing music on, or I have a little face massager that I put on. I really just try to settle and relax, or even read. I feel like that is more helpful than scrolling, because I did start out with the scrolling. No, I think you just about covered it. I mean, don't force yourself to hold it. You do get better as you go along. I do also use my frequency watch. I put it on the liver setting, and I feel like that helps me to hold it too. And there's also just tips and tricks of, deep breathing helps. But I just think the more you do it, the better it will be and the easier it becomes. So
yeah, we'll have to share with everybody, because I know you and I walk around with the Wave watches. There is a podcast, you guys, coming up where I do interview the owner of the watch. So we'll share that with you, and when it comes out, it'll be, you'll find it in our social media scrolls. And you definitely want to listen to that. That's the one that Carissa's talking about. Carissa, nervous. Karen, sorry, says she's nervous to do it herself. It sounds a lot, but it's really pretty simple and easy to do. And certainly, Karen, anytime, the next time you're with Carissa or I, we're happy to walk through and help you understand more. We'll put the instruction sheet in your portal for you as well, so that you can have the instruction sheet if it's not already in there. So, all right, everybody. So we are at the top of the hour. Somehow this became a coffee enema instruction session, but all good. I mean, it is one of those natural, very healing practices. Yeah, I don't know if you're listening during lunch break and eating at the same time, if that was the best thing. Sorry, Debbie. I'm glad that you could be here to listen in for sure. And you guys, the important thing is make sure that you're getting your minerals in. If you are doing that, be sure to get your minerals in no matter what, because we're talking about detoxification. We're talking about the spring. Your body needs those minerals to do our thing. I always tell all of our clients, right? especially when they're like, oh my gosh, what supplements should I take, or things like that. The most important things are your digestive support and your minerals. No matter what, those are my number one go-tos. If you have a smaller budget for supplements, your minerals and your digestive support, those are the lifelines. Okay. Because if your digestion's not working properly, then it doesn't matter. And that's the same thing. You can't detox if you're constipated. Okay, so you've got to make sure that you're getting that fiber in. Lots and lots and lots of fruits and vegetables and fiber. Really important.
Yeah, it'll be much harder too to hold the coffee enema for any amount of time if you're not going regularly. So you can just do like a water enema without holding anything, just to flush out the lower like the lower part of the bowel. But yeah, you do want to make sure that you're going at least once every day, and just remember, guys, like we tell you all the time, take it one step at a time. Like whether it's, just looking at the coffee enema and the benefits, or, trying something new like liver supporting foods, or adding in a liver supporting supplement, or getting a good sweat session. Like I love yoga too. I wanted to mention that, like the twists and the turns that we do in yoga class, every little change counts. Like
Absolutely.
every little bit towards feeling healthier, lighter, more energized. Karen, it's so normal to feel nervous. It's something that you've never heard of before. But like Danielle said, we'll guide you, because I know we both love them. So I tell clients about it all the time.
All right, everyone. We will see you for next week's Lunch and Learn Live. And I was just going to look up. So we are going to be talking about diet and its connection to your brain. So we covered a little today, right, in terms of the liver and how that affects your brain fog and your emotional well-being, that anger. Okay. So next week, we'll cover even more in terms of brain health and your diet and nutrition. See you all next Monday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one,
Take care.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.